Hello there, Libras. Welcome to your mid-March 2017 tarot reading. So, what I'm sensing here, and keep in mind that this reading is going to be applicable approximately from March 15th to the end of the month, okay? I'm just publishing them early because I'm going to be quite busy towards the end of the month. And so I'm trying to get these out to you. So when I say, the time frame, just keep in mind March 15th to March 30th, all right? So what I'm sensing, first of all, is, the next 2 weeks, we find you in your element. So whatever baggage that has crept up on you, whatever emotional issues that you were contending with, since for the past, I would say, past 3 months, whatever issues where you felt like, hey, that wasn't done the best way, or that wasn't fair for me, I feel like all of these worries, these problems are being laid to rest, and you're moving on to a safer environment. You're moving on to calmer waters, essentially. So what I feel is happening here is there might have been, for some of you in a relationship, I feel like you might have had a different sense of like, you and your partner, I feel like there has been some major disagreements when it comes to, where the relationship is headed. What do we both want out of the relationship? And I honestly feel some of you are in a relationship where you want the whole 9 yards. You want, the marriage, the engagement, the family, the children, eventually, like you want all of those things. And I feel like for your partner, there might have been circumstances that prevents them from having these things. So I feel like, they might have told you, oh, I want those things too, but the current career track that I'm in, there's too much travel. Or they're not really sure about their financial situation. They're not really sure if they can give you that stability. So I do see some mismatch here when it comes to, what you want and where you are in your present predicament versus what your partner wants and where they are. So it's almost like, having to wait on the other person to say, okay, to give you the green light, to give you the go ahead. I do see for relationships, problems will be left behind. Problems, okay? So I feel like you are coming into more agreement. You're coming into a better space of understanding with a relationship partner. And especially if you are dealing with a water sign, this is a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio. Somebody who's actually very accomplished in their field. They have a lot of, they're quite financially stable. I do feel like in their past too, they might have had a penchant to, be a little bit too single-minded. So, they might have carried themselves as if they were the bachelor or the bachelorette, and they weren't. They were invested in you, but they didn't think about how things are going to work out long term. So, if that's the case, I do feel there is going to be some solidifying of plans for the future between the two of you. Okay, and then for others, if you are dealing with a fire sign, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo, I feel like they're not yet ready for a relationship. So I feel that they are going to make it very clear to you about their intentions and about, what's going on with them. So that's what I'm sensing here. And if you're in a relationship with someone and they're telling you that they're not looking for the same things, or if you're seeing somebody and they're telling you they're not looking for the same things, please don't think that you can change them. Okay, so changing a person to be the person that we want, and also like ignoring the fact that whatever they just told you, you want to, change it. I just don't feel like that's the right course of action. So I feel like you are naturally very persuasive, and you are able to understand where they're coming from, but don't try to change it. Okay, they're telling you what they're telling you because they want you to accept it at face value. And I feel like, especially if you're dealing with this fire sign specifically, what you see is what you get. And if they're telling you they're not ready for a relationship, you might need to seek somebody else who is. Okay, so I feel like that's where the discord has been brewing in the relationship. It's because you feel like they would change. You feel like they would change their mind, and I feel like they're sticking to their guns and they're not going to do that. Okay, so What I feel happening here when I mentioned that, you are pretty much going to be in your element, is that you're going to know where you stand with other people. You're going to know what you need to do. And so that period of waiting for another person's decisions, waiting for things to get better, waiting for certainty, I feel like you're going to get that coming through on the 15th or so, and you're going to be able to move forward in a direction that you feel is better for you. Okay. Financial worries are being laid to rest as well, which is really good for many of you. And I feel like there is an accumulation of wealth. Okay, so there is, it's almost like you're starting a new phase. There's more disposable income floating around you. So I do see finances looks very good. I do feel for some of you too, there are many seminars to attend, conferences to attend, and I feel like you might be called upon to give a speech, to give a toast, give a speech, but I feel like it's more in an academic setting. It's like more of a professional, seminar where you're kind of like invited to do something. And if you have a tendency to get, stage fright, just make sure everything is rehearsed thoroughly before you jump the gun. Okay, so just be careful about that. If you have a speaking engagement that you have agreed to, just make sure everything is rehearsed. Things are going to go according to plan, but it's just a matter of rehearsing. All right. What I'm sensing as well is for some of you, there might have been some lingering issues here with children, okay, especially if you are sharing children with a person that you are no longer involved with. I do feel like there's a family get together and you both might need to be there for appearances. So that's something I feel coming through, especially if you have children and you're no longer with the mother or the father of the child. There's like I'm seeing like PTA meetings. I'm seeing like discussions with teachers and school administrators and even coaches, mentors, grandparents as well. So I feel like you both are going to be in the same room, and I don't feel any discord happening because of that. I just feel like it's it's an uncomfortable situation overall, but I feel like you and the ex-partner are both making the most of it. Okay, and especially for those of you who are dealing with children and the mother or the father, like whoever they are, I still feel like there's some discussions like PTA meetings and things like that, and I do see a heavy grandparent involvement in this picture. So it could be your own grandparents or the grandparents of your children. So I do see like a generational community coming together in order to facilitate some type of transition for a child. So it could be, where the child stays, whether or not he or she is coming back to live with the grandparents, and who's involved in the caretaking. So I feel like everybody coming together in order to help a child with either some behavioral issues, academic issues as well, or just, overall providing mentorship for the child. So it looks really good. For those of you, I feel like, let me just say that I feel like, especially the ones that are in a position where you have to give a talk or give some type of explanation in kind of like where there are a lot of people listening to you, like if you're in a giving a seminar, conducting a seminar, giving a talk, overall you're going to have a lot of success. Okay, just make sure everything is rehearsed. Make sure that fact checking is not something I'm worried about, not so much with Libras, because you guys are an air sign, and I feel like you're very diligent when it comes to speaking things from a place that you have experience or expertise on. So I feel like you're not just up there fibbing. So I do feel that there's going to be a lot of professional contacts coming to this event, and I feel that you're gonna shine. Okay, so we have some really good energies coming through. It's a little bit busy. It's not busy like Leo's that I just did, but I still feel there are a lot of like procedures, regulations that you need to follow even when you give this speech. Okay, so make sure everything is double checked before you give the presentation. All right, so best of luck to you guys. Take care of yourself, and I'll be back in the April reading. Bye bye.